presents Stretch Armstrong. You can stretch him all kinds of ways.
Can a single toy define an entire childhood? In the 70s, it absolutely could. The 1970s gave us some of the most addictive toys in history, before screens took over playtime. In this video, we're going back to the golden era of toys to reveal the 10 toys every kid absolutely had to have. And number 1, well, let's just say it was out of this world. So, which toy kicked off a decade of stretchy, squishy, unforgettable fun? This toy was designed for chaos in the best way possible. Stretch Armstrong was filled with a gel-like substance that gave him his iconic super stretch powers. You could grab one arm, pull it across the room, and watch it slowly snap back into place like a rubber band in slow motion. And the best part? No matter how hard kids tried to break him, twisting, tugging, or playing tug-of-war with their siblings, he almost never gave in. Every kid in the 70s either owned one or desperately wanted to test his limits. The packaging even encouraged this wild behavior, showing kids stretching him to impossible lengths. It wasn't just a toy, it was a myth. Could he pop? Would he tear? That curiosity turned into hours of experimenting and, for some, a few broken lamps. If your Armstrong survived the week, you were a hero. And if he tore open, well, you had a gooey mess and a great story to tell. But what if a toy could talk to you and help you ace your spelling test? In the late 70s, most toys made noise through clicks, dings, or buzzing. But then came Speaker Spell, a chunky orange gadget that literally talked to you. This groundbreaking gizmo, created by Texas Instruments, was one of the first toys to use speech synthesis. You'd press a button, hear a word like elephant, and then have to spell it out using the keypad. If you got it right, ding, applause. If not, a robotic voice would correct you. And somehow, it never felt like homework.
Speak and spell.
Rain. R-A-I-N. That is correct.
Speak and Spell was first-generation interactive learning, and it felt like the future. Parents loved it because it was educational. Kids loved it because it was fun. Now imagine settling scores with your best friend using 2 battling robots. Who gets the W? Rock'em Sock'em Robots was the ultimate head-to-head showdown toy. It was simple, loud, and endlessly competitive. You had the red robot and the blue robot locked in a plastic ring. Each player controlled their robot with 2 buttons, one for the left punch, one for the right. The goal? Land the perfect uppercut and watch your opponent's head spring up like a toaster. That satisfying pop was everything. It meant victory, bragging rights, sweet, sweet glory, and best of all, there were no batteries, no screens, and no rules except knock them out before they get you. Every match was fast, furious, and usually followed by a rematch 5 seconds later. There was no strategy. Kids just slammed those buttons as fast as possible and screamed with joy when their robots delivered the knockout punch. Speaking of bright moments, what toy literally lit up kids' creativity? Before tablets and drawing apps, there was Lite-Brite, a blackboard that turned ordinary plastic pegs into glowing masterpieces.
I'm making things with light. Lite-Brite makes them glow so bright.
Kids would punch the colored pegs through black paper templates 1 dot at a time, creating bright images of rainbows, unicorns, rocket ships, and cartoon characters. But the real magic happened when you flipped the switch and the entire board lit up like something out of a dream. Whether you followed the pre-made patterns or freestyled your own design, Lite-Brite made every kid feel like an artist. Okay, but what if your ride to adventure came with one giant front wheel? With its giant front wheel, low-slung seat, and bright plastic frame, the big wheel made ordinary sidewalks feel like racetracks. Kids didn't ride these, they raced them. Downhill, around corners, through puddles, it didn't matter. The louder those plastic wheels screamed on the pavement, the better. And let's be honest, drifting in a big wheel before drifting was even a thing? Instant legend status. The design was genius. It was safe because of how low it sat, but it felt wildly rebellious. Kids could back and zoom off like they were in a Hollywood car chase. You didn't walk to your best friend's house, you big-wheeled there. And if your big wheel had custom stickers or racing stripes, ha, game over. From racing outside to baking inside. What toy let kids become little chefs? At first glance, it looked like a cute little toy oven, but inside, it was cooking magic powered by nothing more than a standard light bulb. Slide in a tiny pen, wait for the light to do its thing, and voila! Cake, cookies, or brownies were ready to serve. The Easy Bake Oven made every kid feel like a professional chef, even if the portions were mini and the frosting came out of a tube. This wasn't just make-believe, it actually worked. I Made It Myself became the proud battle cry of every tiny baker on the block. And if you had the deluxe version with extra mixes and accessories, you were basically running a bakery out of your bedroom. Here's one for the toddlers. What toy wobbled, giggled, and never fell down? Weebles were pure childhood physics fun. No matter how hard you tipped them over or spun them around, they always popped right back up with a smile. That's because their secret was all in the design. A rounded bottom weighted just right so they couldn't be knocked down. It made them feel kind of magical, like they were laughing in the face of gravity. Kids in the 70s could collect Weebles for every theme. Farmers, astronauts, circus performers, all with that same signature bounce. And even toddlers who couldn't say resilience were learning it one wobble at a time. But what if your toy could actually answer your burning questions? Kinda. Every kid who picked up a magic 8-ball instantly became a curious little mystic. You'd hold it like a sacred orb, ask your burning question, does Jenny like me? Will I ace my math test? And flip it over to reveal a floating answer inside. Yes, no, outlook not so good. It was silly, suspenseful, and a little spooky in the best way. Inside, the toy was just a plastic die floating in blue liquid, but it felt like real magic. Suddenly, every tiny decision became a moment of cosmic drama, and the randomness of the answers made it even better. Sometimes it said exactly what you hoped. Other times it left you hanging with reply hazy, try again, that only made you shake it faster. Now let's turn up the pressure. Can you follow the lights and beat the memory game? Introduced in 1978, Simon brought something brand new to the toy world. A game that challenged your brain and your reflexes with flashing lights and beeping sounds. 4 big, colourful buttons, red, green, blue, yellow, would light up in a pattern. Your job? Tap them back in the exact same sequence. Easy at first, and then it got faster, longer, harder. Before you knew it, you were sweating over what colour came next.
Simon sets the pace. You follow right along. Light the lights that Simon lights, or he'll tell you that you're wrong.
Kids would gather around Simon like it was an arcade machine, taking turns and cheering each other on. The music, the lights, the mounting pressure, it was addictive. And finally, what toy brought the entire galaxy to your fingertips and still has fans today? In 1977, Star Wars hit theaters and changed everything. Suddenly, every kid wanted to be a Jedi, a smuggler, or a Sith Lord. But instead of just watching the story, Kenner let kids have it, releasing a legendary line of 3.75-inch action figures featuring Luke Skywalker, Princess Leia, Darth Vader, and more. These weren't just toys, they were tickets to endless adventure. And every figure came with its own weapon, outfit, and backstory. If you were a kid in the late 70s, Star Wars figures were more than collectibles. They were your crew. You made up missions, rewrote the movies, and probably lost at least one tiny lightsaber in the carpet forever. So, which of these toys did you have or wish you had growing up? Let us know in the comments below.